back to the All Sports Show, live from the Premier Hotel and, of course, streaming live at theherald.com.au, great supporters of ours. This gentleman to my left announced his retirement this year from the Rugby League, but he's got one big event on Sunday. He's running out for the Newcastle Knights in the VB New South Wales Cup. Welcome to the All Sports Show, Clint Newton.
Thanks, guys.
Buddy, big day on Sunday for you.
Yeah, it is. I'm putting it right up there with probably the NRL premiership that I played in, just because it means so much to me. I know what it means to these young guys, and after a difficult couple of years for the Rugby League club at a first grade level, the Premier League and the New South Wales Cup has been one of the shining lights.
It'd be fantastic for the Knights. I think the whole club and the whole town will rally around that one. If you can get that over the line, mate, everyone's just going to go ballistic, because it has been a long time since they've had something to celebrate, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's been obviously 01 was the last first grade premiership, and it was 20 years yesterday that was the first, last time Reggie's won in 1995. So, wow. So it's been a long time coming. Obviously, we were there last year, didn't get the job done, but I'm incredibly proud of this group. We've got an average age of about 21, 22. That's even with me included.
I was going to say, you've lifted that a bit, haven't you?
That's
18 without you.
That's even with me in it. So yeah, I'm wrapped for the playing group. They've fought on incredibly well this year, and we get an opportunity to do something special on Sunday.
Mate, you got to the dinner last year. You've made it back to round 2. What's happened in the last couple of years around the structure or culture of the team that's proven successful?
Me.
You're a star. There it is. There it is.
Humbleness. Here we go.
Yeah, what was that? No. It's I just think the actual group of players we've really galvanised. Whilst first grades obviously had their own issues, the State Cup have just rolled with the punches. We've used plenty of players. We've used probably 35 plus this year in our squad. And I just think there's no egos in our team. Everyone gets on well. We've got a lot of youth and exuberance in our side. With a good coach in Matty Lantry, and I just think everyone really loves what they do, and I think that's most important.
Even though you were there last year, this team it's a pretty much a different team, isn't it?
Yeah, I was
thinking a few survivors that were there last year.
I was thinking about it last night with the boys when we had dinner, and there's only 3. So 3 survivors out of the 17 that played last year. So that in itself is really quite special. The fact that we've had a massive turnover of players, turnover of coach, and we're still finding ourselves in a position where we've got an opportunity to create some history of ourselves.
And mate, the emotion that comes with, you played your last game here on Old Boys Day, and then the disappointment of the game at Penrith, a club you played at as well in the NRL. But then you had that little bonus of going back to the New South Wales Cup. And now this finals charge, and one game on Sunday, and hopefully another one on grand final day if you get there. Yeah,
obviously, I was wrapped that I was able to, finish my career in first grade. The moment I realised that I qualified for State Cup, I never lost sight of that. I always wanted to go back, no matter what, because that's been what I came back here for. Yes, whilst I've loved playing first grade, I get such a tremendous amount of satisfaction out of seeing other people's success, and I get to see that weekly with the guys that I play with, and when they're so incredibly respectful and prepared to work hard and listen, it makes me want to get out of bed, and go to training on days that, some days you might be feeling a bit sore and sorry at 34, and but they're the reason. They've given me probably more than what I could have given them,
Remember 34, Forder?
Last week, I actually last week. I watched the game last week. He's come out of the blocks fairly quickly. Fooney scored a hat-trick in the first half. But he's tired fairly badly late. Is that something that, what do you put that down to?
Oh, I just think, it come down to the fact of flow of possession. Possession's everything in this game. I think if you've got, 50% of the ball, you're going to, be there or thereabouts. We made some, bad errors coming out of trouble and also gave away a few, silly penalties. So I think, and also they were probably fresh, off the back of their week off. I think we'll learn from that. We've got a good team, as I said, they're young. I think with the young legs there, hopefully we'll have enough petrol in the tank to get home.
As an advocate for the local rugby league, as I am, it was pleasing to see a guy I've called a lot of games, Kerrod Holland. The winger from Lakes with the headgear, his name always escapes me.
Eddie
Tua. Yeah. Scored a long distance try. Kerrod Holland looked in the right place there in that game. And you think he can go on to play first grade?
Oh yeah, I actually was speaking to Andrew Johns about him today. Because he obviously Cessnock boy, and I he's been a real surprise pack at Kerrod. I'm incredibly, again, proud of someone like him that's been brought into a part-time role by Matty Lantry, and Matty needs some credit there for bringing him out of the local comp. And he didn't play heaps at the start of the year. He got his chances through injury, and during that back part of the year when a lot of us were playing first grade, in Jake Memo and myself and Joey Tarpany and Matt Ora and those guys, he stepped into the fullback role and single-handedly won him a couple of games. And I think that's just tremendous for a young kid that obviously didn't expect to be in this position at the start of the year, but here he is. He finds himself in a grand final in a New South Wales Cup game, and I really think he's a good player. He's a good kid. He's got a good rig on him. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He works. He's an Aleco by trade. And
Must be a good bloke.
And he's so I think that's a good story, and we've got plenty of them. And Hanetti's another one that's sort of been there the last couple of years.
Kerrod, in fact, 2 years ago was a very light fullback and got ragdolled a bit. Built himself up last year, and it was actually easily in the top 3 players in Newcastle Rugby League, so he's done well. And Matt Lantry, of course, is a success story with the coach. He's coached Central last year, and now doing this. It's a pretty good story.
Yeah, Matty, it can be a bit of a thankless job at times, the New South Wales Cup, because you're always having to, provide players for first grade.
Sorry, Clint, is it right you have gone through 50 players in reserve grade?
It might have been the case. That might have definitely been the case over the last couple of years, but I think we'd be up around the 35 plus, over this season, which is a massive amount. And that's where obviously Wyong, with their not so many injuries with the Roosters and whatnot, they've had that continuity there. So that's obviously why they're the favourites, and they're a very good footy side. But Matty's done a really good job. He's just got on with it. He's provided some guys with plenty of confidence to go on, and he needs a real pat on the back.
Well, it is. Sorry, Vordo, just a quick update. It is on Sunday, 4 o'clock at Pier Tech Stadium.
Parramatta Stadium.
Parramatta for the uneducated. We can flog any sponsor here, mate. If we're sluts, you know that.
Well, they slug us anything? Nothing.
We'll
it's
get
Parramatta
there.
Stadium until otherwise.
You've got to see some
notified.
top early in the water, mate. And you said, Clint, that they are the favourites going into the game. You faced them twice. Round 2, they knocked us off 18-6, but it was a bit tighter in round 18 when it was only 2 points in at 28-26. Is this the one? Third time lucky?
Oh yeah, I hope so. I think obviously in grand finals you need a bit of luck, and you need some momentum, which we've got. And you need some of that belief there, and I think this young side has that. So they've got plenty of tomorrows in them, and I don't, but they're certainly they'll give it a real red hot crack.
And there's a few going from Newcastle. There's a few going up the freeway or down the freeway to see you blokes. Do you reckon if you outnumber them in the crowd, is that going to have an effect for you blokes or what? Like, it's nice to see a lot of people there, isn't it?
Oh, 100% it will. I think one of the biggest things that we've had in the last couple of weeks is those people that have come down the freeway. And from a player's perspective, I'm incredibly grateful to those supporters, because there isn't the fanfare. Obviously, you don't have the atmosphere of a first grade game, but those people are prepared to spend their fuel money and buy their food and all that sort of stuff and make the trip down. And as a player, when you look back into the stands and you see that, it actually does mean a lot to us. So I really hope that we'll get plenty of support there, and hopefully we can do the sound proud.
Yep.
Sorry, you go.
You've had a lot of years playing footy. You've worked your way into the head of the Players Association. Where do you see the future for yourself headed?
Oh, Kurt, one of my biggest passions is helping people. So I get to do that at a smaller level, obviously with Rugby League. Obviously I'm involved with White Ribbon and the charities such as that, and I get an opportunity to help the collective group in the as a Players Association. So I'm quite confident that whatever I'm doing something along those lines, I'll be happy. I'm not. I didn't come back here for the money. It's most of the things that I do have never been factored around that. It's always I'm in charge of my own happiness, and I'd love to be able to do a job that I come home to my partner and my daughter and know that 9 out of 10 days I'm going to be smiling, and I get to do that with footy. With the RLPA, I'd love to stay involved with that, because I really believe in fighting for players' rights and their well-being, and making sure that we do have good entitlements and great benefits. And so I think that's hopefully where my future lies. But I think I want to get this one over and done with on the weekend, and hopefully have something to celebrate.
I mean, most players in the grand final week, that's all they're worrying about is a game of footy at the end of the week. You've had a couple of fairly big issues to deal with this week with the ongoing issue with the NRL and player entitlements, and also this issue with the South Sydney players and the prescription drugs. How have you managed to separate your time to take care of all those issues? And can you give us an update on where things are at with both those issues?
Yeah, Brett, it has been challenging with my time. Being on the phone, while I'm eating my dinner and whatnot, and not going to bed till late, on most nights. So the conversation between me and Carly hasn't been great. But I really believe it's important. So if it's important, it needs to be done, and I'm happy to do it. So the stuff with the NRL is certainly tracking along nicely. They certainly have now agreed that there have been added demands on the players, and since the start of the collective bargaining agreement in 2013, and obviously we've managed to get an extra week of leave, and we're going to have a seat at the table at the competition committee, and I'll get to be in front of the broadcasters before the scheduling's done for the 5-day turnarounds. And so Dave Smith and the administration there have certainly making all the right sounds that you're heading in the right direction. And everything that blew up was basically around frustration.
Yep.
That it had been going on too long, and obviously acting on behalf of the players. I'm in charge of voicing their concerns, and that's what we did, and they were incredibly united. As we all know, unity is strength, and we had that. So I'm just hell bent on making sure that rugby league is the best sport in Australia and the sport of choice for young men to come to, with the best entitlements and the best working conditions, and that's all we want.
Mate, how did you go? So we've spoken a few times this year about Alex McKinnon's about what was a freak accident on the footy field, and I was shocked that there wasn't an insurance clause or an insurance policy that would cover severe disability and lifelong care. Has that been looked at? Has that been added into the Players Association?
In the collective bargaining agreement, insurance was brought in. It has been significantly increased, TPD and whatnot. So there are things now in place, but insurance was one of those things that we could never demand. We could only push the NRL to pursue it. They did pursue it, and they've obviously done the right thing to bring that in. I think what most people don't understand is sports people in Australia are excluded from the workers' compensation legislation. Because it's not considered a job. So that's one of the things that we fought incredibly hard for, and we've managed to get that. So
it sounds crazy when you say that, doesn't it?
Mate, if an accident like that happens on our streets, the kid's taken care of for the rest of his life. If it happens on a financial game that is making a body money, and it's in front of all of us, and we're all invested in it. There wasn't a insurance.
It just seems crazy.
It baffled me.
Yeah. Well, there was insurance there, but obviously, it's now been extended, to a bigger playing group.
Lifelong.
And it's now been sorted in that position. So there's a futures fund involved and those sorts of things. So the game's certainly made the right steps to make sure that we're certainly covered for these things.
Because hopefully it's a once in a 30, 40, 50 year, maybe 80 year occurrence, but that the dollars when that does come around, has got to be there.
Well, mate, good luck with all the.
I've got one last tough question for Clint. You can choose to.
Well, I've got one
this.
after you too.
Is it to get odds? Is it for you to get some inside information to lay a punt?
No,
do not bet on the Knights this week, mate.
This is self-interest, 100%. Clint, you're a South junior. Any chance we can get you back next year? We are desperate, brother.
Oh, mate,
Bobcat Ryan had a game this year, man. You're 10 years younger than him.
Yeah, mate, I may play a couple of cameos. We'll see. You can talk to my manager.
It's on tape. It's on tape.
We were going to get Bobcat on this show. He's just brushed us now.
It's on tape. It's on tape.
They've increased their pay to pie and a Coke and a packet of chips
Well,
now.
you know,
Hey, bring your own sauce.
yeah, South people better get to the poker machines and start putting more money through there to
Mate, is
pay
there
for
Gamble
my
responsibly.
rent.
Always about money,
Is
isn't
there a
it?
Gamble
specific
responsibly.
injury?
Coops,
Do you have
it's
anything?
always about money, isn't
What was
it?
that?
Especially
Is there,
South.
is there a specific injury that you're carrying that is making you call it?
Oh
it a
no,
day?
it's just, mate. I'm a big believer in obviously, you know, trusting my intuition, and you know, I think that it's just now's the right time, and you know, my body still feels good. It's not great, but you know, but I don't think there'd be too many footballers out there that would have a perfect body after 15 years, and
Hey, what about this bloke? Hey?
Just
Yeah.
text the president now.
Yeah.
that he's agreed on that.
Sign the contract
yeah,
here.
as I said, there's no footballer after 15 years with a
Correct.
perfect body. So yeah.
Nudo's
but no.
agreed to terms.
So you just knew the time.
Break
was
in.
Yeah, the time was right, and you know, I'm happy with my decision, and I feel like, you know, that it's time to take the next step into the future, and you know, do something else for a little bit.
Good luck.
Well, mate, it
Thanks,
is
mate.
a very special day for you on Sunday. It's the last time you're going to run out in the Knights colours, and we wish you all the very
Hopefully
best.
not.
Hopefully
Hopefully
not.
it's the second
Hopefully
last. They win and they play the national championship
Oh, of
against
course,
the
yeah,
Queensland
of course.
Premiers on
But we
Grand
do
Final.
hope it's going to be a special day, whatever happens, and we hope that you and the boys bring it home, because it's going to be a really big event for Newcastle, because God knows we need some winners around here.
F3 derby, mate.
Man, it is a
It's
bit of an
Newcastle
F3 derby,
v1.
so get along if you can down to the F3 to watch him. If not, make sure you tune in. I'm sure it's getting streamed live somewhere on Fox Sports.
Fox,
Yep.
Be live.
All the very best, mate. Thanks for coming in, and good luck with everything, RLPA and league-wise. Clint Newton, everyone, give him a round of applause.
Thanks,
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, guys. And
Thanks, Nudo.
thanks very much for having me. And yeah, get down there and support us. We'd love to have you. And
You
yeah,
heard the
thanks
man.
to all the fans. And it's been an awesome time to come back to the Knights, and I really appreciate it. So thanks very much.
Well said. Love having you back. We're going to have a short break here at the All Sports Show panel. We'll be back very soon with the Jets' brand new coach, Scotty Miller. See you soon at the All Sports Show.